On the news, federal government blows hot, warn troublemakers of direct consequences. 2.3 million Nigerians registered to be vaccinated in 24 hours. And INEC says creation of more polling units solution to voter apathy. Many thanks for joining us in News Now. I am Mary Kanu. President Muhammadu Buhari has presided over the 36th Virtual Federal Executive Council meeting at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. At the meeting, the council approved 10 billion naira for the purchase of firefighting equipment across the nation. Minister for Interior Rauf Aregbesola, while briefing State House correspondents, said the equipment will be deployed to respond quickly to fire incidents, which is becoming alarming in recent time. On her part, Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadiya Farouk, highlighted decisions of the Council on the social investment program of her ministry.
FEC considered and approved the procurement of various firefighting equipment. The total sum of the approval is 10 billion 436,375,240 naira 96 kobo. The approval also covers supply of water tankers of numbering 15 at a total sum of 435,375,000 naira only. Then we have the supply of rapid intervention fire engines. These are smaller fire engines that can enter difficult terrain and quickly respond to any fire incident. The number is 15 at a total sum of 1,428,840,000 naira only.
Award of contract for the design, development, deployment, and management of the National Social Investment Management Systems for the National Social Investment Programs. This system is going to be used to take care of the issues of the N-Power programs, the JIP program, the National Cash Transfer Program, as well as the National Homegrown School Feeding Program.
Time may be up for criminals in the country as the federal government is talking tough on the worsening security situation with a promise to deal with its perpetrators. Rising from the National Security Council meeting, the National Security Advisor Babagana Mungono highlighted far-reaching decisions reached by the council to ensure peace among other issues. TV360's Tunji Oye tells us more in this next report.
Within a period of 6 months, 345 Nigerians were killed and 468 kidnapped in Zamfara state alone. Across the country, 1,525 Nigerians lost their lives in the first 6 weeks of the year 2021. You will agree with me that those figures are rather alarming, and it questions the government's capabilities to protect our citizens and defend the nation's interests. This is the reason for this National Security Council meeting presided by President Muhammadu Buhari. 3 key issues are on the front burner at this meeting: kidnapping and banditry, terrorism, farmers and others crisis.
Given the fact that we have a new organization with new service chiefs, the President has charged all of us to redouble our efforts, especially in view of the occurrences of the last couple of weeks.
Zamfara State, where 279 schoolgirls were just released, seems to be the hotbed of crisis in the north, and the council has decided to take a step on this.
Now, His Excellency the President has approved, based on our recommendation, the imposition and enforcement of a ban on all mining activities in Zamfara State with immediate effect until further notice. He has also approved that Zamfara State be declared a no-fly zone.
Analysts say security situation in the country may be far more disturbing than what government feels, though not insurmountable.
The fact that insecurity has gone on for too long, on the basis of the fact that a whole lot of big people, very high-profile people, are involved in that. That obviously shows that they must have intelligence about how weapons even get to the bandits by themselves. And they must probably have factual evidence that would suggest that maybe they use aerial support for these bandits so that the weapons can get to them.
More disturbing, however, is the security report, according to the National Security Advisor, that some individuals are profiting from the insecurity in the country. On this, the federal government has read the Riot Act.
That the federal government will not hesitate to apply to the fullest its kinetic means to restore normalcy to the country. I'm sure you're all aware of the fact that no country will tolerate a group of non-state actors. No sovereign nation will allow a group of non-state actors to bring it down to its knees.
Anybody who is profiting or who is associated, no matter how tangential, no matter how fringe or marginal your connection or your linkage to insecurity now, with that declaration by the NSA, ascribing it to the president, it is clear that it's a new day in battle in the fight against insecurity in Nigeria.
Nigerians will obviously be looking forward to the fruits this security meeting will bear in the next few months. From Lagos, Tunjoye, TV360 News.
And the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says it is determined to give Nigerians a better electoral process in 2023. And as such, the Commission is pushing for the creation of more polling units for easy accessibility by voters. INEC Chairman Mahmoud Yakubu said this at a public presentation on the state of voter access to polling units before the National Assembly Joint Committee on INEC and Electoral Matters. TV360's Abisola Adebayo now reports.
Data from the Independent National Electoral Commission has shown that there is a decline in electoral participation by Nigerians in the last few years. The electoral body says voter apathy has increased with each election, a situation the body is desperate to reverse. At this public presentation, INEC Chairman Yakub Mahmoud told lawmakers that one of the factors identified to be responsible for this is lack of access to polling units by many Nigerians. INEC is therefore planning to create 57,023 new polling units across the country ahead of the 2023 elections.
The simple answer is that it's in a crisis and has been so for some time. The right to vote is fundamental democratic right. However, existing polling units can no longer substantially guarantee the exercise of that right by many Nigerians because of the crisis of access to them. And the crisis, I must say, affects all parts of the country. There's no part of this country that is immune from the crisis.
Speaker of the House of Representatives Femi Gbadabiamila thereafter charged the electoral body to do all it can and ensure that Nigerians are not in any way disenfranchised. Both leaders of the National Assembly, however, promised to support INEC in its effort to increase voter participation in subsequent elections.
Some people believe that any creation of additional polling units serve only the interests of the politicians in whose constituencies they are located by providing them with avenues to harvest more votes. This opinion, of course, may not be without any basis, but it behoves all the participants in this process,
Nigerians, that the National Assembly will support INEC fully, completely, and wholly in ensuring that we provide a better voting environment for our citizens. Whatever it takes, we'll do so, because democracy is about participation by the people. And voting is probably the most important thing a citizen could do to decide who leads him or her. And therefore, to provide a more convenient, safe and secure environment for voters is one thing that the National Assembly will always support INEC. And we have supported INEC many times.
Despite increase in population, the nation's polling units in the last 25 years remains at 119,973 and was created in 1996 by the now defunct National Electoral Commission of Nigeria, NECON. But there's about to be a change as INEC is ready to add 57,023 more to the number of polling units we have in the country. Abisola Adebayo, TV360, Nigeria.
The Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, has called on the federal government to urgently address corruption in the power and education sectors in Nigeria. Speaking with newsmen in Lagos, the Deputy Director of SERAP, Oluwadare Kolawole, says despite repeated demands of accountability and transparency in both sectors, government continues to ignore allegations of corruption and has failed to account for over 2 billion naira in the education sector and 320 billion naira in the power sector. SERAP thereafter recommended that President Buhari should instruct the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami to request the report of the House of Representative Committee that probed government spending in the power sector from 2000 to 2007 and ensure appropriate legal action.
Firstly is government should react proactively for transparency and accountability initiatives, not only in taking steps to address corruption, but in enlightening the citizens and being transparent in the activities of government. So it is not enough for government to act as it were, but that the information should be in the public domain. So spending of government, for instance, in education and the power sector, should be that the funds earmarked are well known and the various processes from expenditure, allocation and expenditure are transparent enough, even in the use of recovered assets principally that we've seen in Nigeria, that these funds do not go the way of the initial funds before they are recovered. And so our recommendations also goes to the World Bank, particularly in the power sector. A lot of funds have been sunk into that sector by way of loans from the World Bank. The latest in the series being the 500 million that was earmarked to be disbursed to Nigeria to help revitalize the power sector. It is not enough that these funds are allocated.
And the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association, Pengasson Lagos Zone, on Wednesday stormed the Lagos office of Britannia Oil and Gas and picketed over alleged anti-labor practices. Pengasson said the picketing of the firm was necessitated over alleged anti-labor practices where the firm allegedly disregards Nigeria's labor laws. Pengasson, in a statement, said the oil service company refused to align with the directives of the Ministry of Labor and the Department of Petroleum Resources on labor issues.
The management of Britannia U has consistently kicked against and flouted. As we speak, our branch executive members of our branch executives were laid off because of their involvement and participation in union activities. Britannia U is a Nigerian company, fully Nigerianized. And that is the sad aspect of this whole thing. It's a Nigerian company against Nigerian workers. And many of our members here who have been laid off or been without a job since 2017. And repeatedly we have made that call to the management to at least come to the table to discuss, to no avail.
For 2.5 years or going into 3 years right now, our members have been laid off without adequate compensation that is due them. Some of them that are in deployment of this company are not allowed to unionize. Any act or any attempt, any intention to join the union is met with stiff resistance of management. They have made our people, their fellow Nigerians, a low-hanging fruit animal for sacrifice. And this we have come to resist. We have come to let the world know. We have come to let the federal government know that Britannia U management is anti-labor, is working as much as it lies in their strength to frustrate the provisions of the law that guarantee Nigerians the opportunity to join labor organizations. And this must not be accepted.
Wife of Edo State Governor Betsy Obaseki has visited the 1,000 hectares facility that comprises both farms and agro-industrial processing zones. The governor's wife visited the area in the company of the Nigerian Country Director of United Nations Development Organization, Jean Bakole. The farm hosts a number of processing plants and storage facilities, among others. Jean Bakole, in his remarks, commended Governor Godwin Obaseki for attracting investment to Edo State and the young entrepreneurs for their efforts at producing commodities that will meet export standards.
This whole NSAS thing that happened in our country a few months ago should open the eyes of young people like the entrepreneur here or the promoter of this project. What he's trying to tell us by bringing on board such a project, a massive project, is that the young people indeed in this country are our future, and you can do it. And a lot of what's going to come out of here will be good for export. So it's not just to feed, local, the locals, but also to export and make money. And all of this comes back to our GDP, to improve our GDP, grow our GDP, get Nigeria out of debt and all of that.
We are moving ahead to produce a number of commodities in respecting the minimum quality standard. I think that's very important because whatever you produce in agriculture has also to meet the minimum quality standard. Number one, to protect our local consumer. Number two, to protect also the international consumer to whom we are going to export our products.
We believe that growth in agriculture is 2 or 3 times more effective than any other sector in reducing extreme poverty, in improving economic growth, and also in ensuring food security. So for us, we're literally just using agriculture as a sector to drive economic development in the country and ultimately on the continent.
And operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, Niger State Command have recovered 27 rifles from 2 suspects during a routine stop and search operation in the Kotagora area of the state. According to the Niger State Commander of the agency, Aloye Isaac Oludare, the duo were arrested with 12 locally fabricated AK-47 rifles and 15 locally fabricated pistols. The rifles were concealed in a white sack when the arrest was made. In a related development, operatives of NDLEA Ondo State Command raided Ita Ikpele and Ikpele Forest in the Owo local government area of the state. Ondo State Commander of the agency, Haruna Gagara, revealed 6 suspects were arrested during the operation and about 41 kilograms of cannabis sativa and 6 kilograms of cannabis seeds were recovered during the operation, while a total of 5 hectares of cannabis farm was located and destroyed. Well, we'll take a break here, but still to come, Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry opens discount market to encourage women entrepreneurship. Details after this break. Glad to have you back. Now, here's a quick reminder of some of our major stories tonight. The federal government has read riot acts to those profiting from the insecurity situation.
Nigerians lost their lives.
National Security Advisor Babagana Mongono gave the stern warning after the National Security Council meeting in Abuja. The NSA said the full weight of the law will descend on anyone found guilty of profiting from kidnapping and banditry. We also told you that operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency in Niger State Command have recovered 27 rifles from 2 suspects during a routine stop and search operation in the Kotagora area of the state. According to the Niger State commander of the agency, the duo were arrested with 12 locally fabricated AK-47 rifles and 15 locally fabricated pistols. Well, in case you missed any of our news bulletin or for more updates, do log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms in Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Google Plus at TV360 Nigeria. On Facebook, we are TV360 Online. The National Primary Healthcare Development Agency on Wednesday dispelled fears that people may not want to be vaccinated against COVID-19, noting that over 2 million Nigerians have indicated interest in taking the jabs. Executive Director of the agency, Faisal Shuaib, said although there are fears over the safety of the vaccines, there is enthusiasm in Nigeria over Monday's arrival of the vaccines. Shuaib further revealed when the e-registration platform was launched, in less than 24 hours, about 2.3 million Nigerians had registered for the vaccine, saying the number continues to increase. Well, we'll take another short break here and return with business updates. Don't go away. And welcome back. We'll now join Abisola Adebayo for the latest development in the world of business. Over to you now, Abisola.
Thank you very much, Mary. The Amalgamated Union of Foodstuff and Cattle Dealers of Nigeria has agreed to end the blockade of food supplies to the south. The association commenced its strike on Thursday, February 25th, asking for 475 billion naira in compensation from the federal government for the destruction of their businesses and death of some of their members in different crises across the country. The union thereafter agreed that the trucks of cattle and food supplies heading south will no longer be impounded after intervention of the federal government. The agreement to call off the strike was reached today after the group's meeting with some state governors in Abuja. Now, there is a new market in the Federal Capital Territory called the Araha Market, which simply means discount market. It's a neighborhood market jointly put together by the Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry and Women Rights Development and Humanitarian Initiative with the collaboration of the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment. This next report has details of that story. Araha Farmers Market, located in the heart of the Federal Capital Territory, aims to provide high-quality, affordable products to low and middle-income residents of Abuja. It's an initiative designed to empower women and help community small-scale businesses scale up by providing discounts on sales in an atmosphere that's conducive for buyers and sellers. The Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry says this initiative is to better prepare SMEs and farmers for the Africa Continental Free Trade Area Agreement and protect Nigerian markets and commodities from increased competition due to the influx of goods that could seriously challenge local markets.
I believe that as a discount market, it's offering goods and commodities at a price that is lower than what you have averaging in the market. The rice is much cheaper, the eggs are much cheaper. I have got some myself and people are buying, and so I think the purpose is for people to know that there's a place where once in a month you can come and you can actually make some savings in your family budget.
The market, which will operate once in a month, hopes to encourage women from the Federal Capital Territory to bring their goods and farm products to buyers. The market offers great economic and income opportunities to access local farm fresh products and factories' direct commodities.
So far, it's been able to encourage the women to join the Chamber of Commerce. You know, together we're stronger. We're bringing the women here to have direct contact with them, to help them, to bring in the players to buy off their product, to educate them, provide capacity building on packaging, on how to sell their goods within and outside Nigeria. So these are some of the reasons why we established the Arha Farmers Market.
The prices are at par. So, and it will not encourage people to come in. The essence is the market is Araha. So, and when you hear Araha, the first thing that comes to your mind is a cheaper rate. So, if it's moderate and a cheaper rate, definitely a lot of people will patronize the market.
The Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry says it will also train the women in virtual marketing and digital trading platform for SMEs and capacity building on food, sustainable agriculture, and e-commerce. Abisola Adebayo, TV360, Nigeria.
We'll take a break here and return with stock market review. Do stay with us. The Nigerian stock market extended losses to the third trading day as selling pressure on equities, especially blue-chip stocks, continue to outweigh buying pressure. This made the all-share index decline further by 0.44% to close the day at 39,522 basis points. Market capitalization also lost over 82 billion naira to settle at 20 trillion naira, as you can see here. The market breadth index was negative with 30 losers against 14 gainers. However, this downturn was impacted by price depreciation in large and medium capitalized stocks, including JPOL, who led the list of losers today. NEM also shed 9.91% to end today's trade at 1 naira 91 kobo. It's closely followed by Champion Breweries and MPF Microfinance PLC rounded up the list of 4 with a 9.49%. Moving on the other hand, which is our gainers list, Seplat led our gainers chart today, followed by ICO with Corners and UAC Properties. Moving on, our market summary today, we can see 244 million shares exchanged at 4,714 deals with a value of 4 billion naira today. Meanwhile, on the global market today, actually, the global market is actually looking really good as the FTSE, Dow Jones, and the Nikkei are all rising. The FTSE recorded a 0.93% increase. The Dow Jones also recorded a 0.40% increase, and the Japan stocks Nikkei also closed at 0.51% increase. That's all on stock market review. It's back to Mary for the rest of the news.
Thank you very much for that update, Abisola. Well, up next is Entertainment Report on News Now.
The Giddy Culture Festivals, which was planned to return in April 2021, has been cancelled due to the COVID-19 pandemic. However, money for tickets sold will be refunded. The event celebrates the progression of urban youth culture in Africa through an expression of music, food, art, games, and travel. New dates for the event is yet to be announced. Nigerian superstar and Grammy nominee Burna Boy would perform virtually at the 63rd Grammy Awards. He also happens to be a nominee at the event where his album Twice as Tall is up for Best World Music Album Award. Early last year, Burna Boy performed at Warner Music pre-Grammy events at the Hollywood Athletic Club in California. Play Network Studios have unveiled the producer for their upcoming remake of 1994 Nollywood classic Glamour Girls, directed by Chika Onukufo. In an Instagram post, the production company shared a poster confirming Indani TV star actress and producer Abimbola Craig as the sequel's producer. The latest sequel, which will premiere in cinemas December 2021, will star 3 generations of Nollywood actresses. And that's all we have for you on the entertainment segment of News Now.
away from entertainment and now to sports. President of the Nigeria Football Federation, Amaju Pinnick, has said he sees nothing wrong with the Super Eagles traveling by boat to Benin Republic for the African Cup of Nations qualifier. While some of the players likely to be on the trip have expressed concerns, the country's Football Federation boss noted that the federation is yet to conclude on the means of moving to the neighboring Benin Republic for the encounter. Pinnick, while explaining that the reason for this decision is due to the poor road connection between Lagos and Cotonou, said the team will travel to the match day on a boat because the crossing only lasts 2 hours instead of many hours on poor roads. The NFF president also said the country's football is between 60 to 70% self-sustaining, as his administration has been able to divest the NFF of the government's subvention. Well, that's the latest update on News Now at this time. Thank you very much for watching. I am Mary Kanu.